The sheep's malaris muscle is located cranial to both eyes and attaches to the orbicularis oculi. This small muscle is responsible for depressing and extending the eyelid over the sheep's eye.
The frontalis muscle is a thin and superficial muscle that covers the front of the head. The functions of the frontalis muscle are to raise the eyebrows, to wrinkle the forehead, and also to serve for facial expressions. The orbicularis oculi muscle is located on the nasal part of the frontal bone and around the eye socket on the face. In the sheep, the orbicularis oculi muscle plays a crucial role in opening and closing the eyelid.
The masseter muscle originates from the maxillary region of the sheep's skull. It causes unilateral and bilateral contraction due to the several divisions it makes up. The large masseter in sheep helps support a ruminant diet of mostly plant material that must be masticated multiple times to extract the most nutrients as possible.
The sheep's cervical trapezius muscle is located cranial to the animal's shoulder and lays dorsally over the caudal end of the neck. It is a thin and broad muscle that contracts to raise the head, neck, and shoulders.
The thoracic part of the trapezius muscle lies longitudinally along the thoracic vertebrae. The main function of the trapezius muscle is to rotate or stabilize the scapula. The serratus ventralis muscle is attached to the ribs with finger-like tendons. The function of the serratus ventralis muscle is to move the scapula and help raise the ribs.
The sacrocaudalus dorsalis medialis is one of the muscles of the sheep's tail. It controls tail movement, though most sheep have their tails docked at a young age, so the muscle is now extremely short.
The gluteus superficialis are extensor muscles of the hip joint. These powerful muscles help propel the body forward by extending the hip joint, in other words, pulling the leg backwards.
The semimembranosus muscle is attached to the pelvis and tibia on the rear limbs via tendons. Its functions include the flexing and rotation of the leg, along with serving as a thigh extensor.
The gracilis muscle is a superficial muscle that erases by a thin aponeurosis from the pelvis to the tibia. It is thin and broad dorsally but narrow and tapering ventrally. The function of this muscle is to add the hip and also aid in knee flexion.
The gastrocnemius muscle arises by two fleshy heads from the distal end of the femur. The gastrocnemius and superficial digital flexor make up the largest part of the biceps femoris. In this way, this muscle has function in extending the hock joint.
The fibrillaris longus muscle is a long and superficial muscle attached from the head of the fibula. Then it becomes a tendon and inserts into the lateral side of the first metatarsal bone. The fibrillaris longus muscle helps invert and plantarflex the phalanges. The deep pectoral muscle is located in the chest of the sheep, on either side of the pectorals. This muscle's sole purpose is to add the limb inward, which keeps the limb from becoming splayed outward.
The extensor carpi obliquus originates on the cranial end of the radius and inserts on the most medial metacarpal bone. Its function is that it helps to extend the bones of the carpus.
The lateral digital extensor in the forelimb is connected on the lateral ligament of the elbow. Its insertion is by two branches to the middle and distal lateral phalanges. The function of this muscle is to act as an extensor of the digits, allowing sheep to walk, stretch, sit, and move.
The triceps brachii muscle has three proximal head attachments and extends from the distal scapula and proximal humerus down to the olecranon process of the ulna. When it contracts, it extends the elbow joint.
The deltoid muscle originates on the caudal border and spine of the scapula and inserts on the humerus. It functions in flexing the shoulder to allow the sheep to move its front limbs.
The supraspinatus muscle crosses the shoulder joint and inserts laterally on the greater tubercle of the humerus. It originates on the fossa of the scapula and acts as a brace to the shoulder and part of the rotator cuff, allowing for smooth movement of the limbs and general support.
The depressor labii inferioris muscle is a four-sided facial muscle located in the jaw area that draws the lower lip down and to the side.